Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah.
Take a nice long look. A letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
I saw a beast rise up out of the sea with 7 heads and 10 horns. And on his horns he wore 10 crowns. On each head was written a blasphemous name.
What aren't you telling me?
He'll kill and kill again.
I know you're not afraid of a little bit of dark. Because you are the dark.
Do you still say your prayers? Never once. They scared me. Hello?
You could have made nice with me. But you didn't. And that has led to all of this. I'll be waiting.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another Critics from the Crypt. This is my wife, Melody. I'm Rob DiLauro, of course.
Hi.
We wanted to do another movie review for you guys for a film that, you know, if you saw our To Catch a Killer episode, we had an entire episode dedicated to it in terms of To Catch a Killer movies. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to talk about Osgood Perkins' Longlegs a little bit more at length because as I see some critics, you know, divisiveness is valid. I didn't feel that way, and I think it's probably one of the greatest horror films that's put out this year.
So far, yeah.
What do you think, Mel?
I think so far, yeah. It's really, really good. And, you know, as always, one of our favorite actors, he knocked it out of the ballpark once again. Like, this man can play anything. And he does not look recognizable. You don't recognize him at all.
Also, I do want to mention, too, is that, you know, like, it is... You know,
Nicolas Cage, by the way. Nicolas Cage.
We mentioned in our last episode. Like, yes, you know, we understand that the hype mobile is just absolutely insane for a lot of movies. I'm gonna say it. I've said it many, many times until like there's blood in my throat. This is not Silence of the Lambs.
No,
it's not.
No,
and it's not trying to be.
No.
I think that the fact that critics saw it that way is just their perspective, and it's very fucking skewed. Yeah. That's not what we saw at all. The only similarities would be Micah Monroe's character being an FBI agent, and that is it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is more based in like nunsploitation, nunsploitation, religious horror, satanic panic,
body horror.
Yeah. So it is its own thing. It's not trying to be anything else but itself. Mm-hmm. Nicolas Cage, you know, of course, plays Longlegs. What is his real name? Daniel Cobbler or something?
Something weird, yeah.
He's a 3-name guy, obviously, because he's a killer.
Yeah.
Charles Lee Ray, you know, whatever. But he, like Melody said, he's absolutely transformative in this movie.
Yeah, you don't recognize him in this movie at all. Like, is that Nicolas Cage? No.
When you see him, it's so jarring because, like, you know, he does look very androgynous.
Is he an albino? Do they have him as an albino?
No,
in
I
this?
think he was actually just kind of painting himself up as a doll. Or he could have been a doll, because remember when he does what he does with the table, like his nose comes off or whatever. You know what I mean? Oh, spoilers, by the way, for Longlegs, if you guys haven't seen it already. Which is absolutely a sleeper hit, so I couldn't believe you didn't see it yet.
Right? Hello.
It's a massive, massive hit for Neon. But yeah, when you see the character, it's so jarring, but when you see, like, there's certain things that they mention within the backstory of the character himself, and they don't really get into too much, but he's really into old 70s rock, he's into dolls, and he loves Satan. You know what I mean?
Hail Satan.
So he's very theatrical, and he's very, like, I don't know, man. I could see him being, like, in a band, like, back in the day. You know what I mean? Like one of those glam bands or something. You know, like, Hail Satan, hey! You know, with these big
But apparently he's a serial killer, but he's a doll maker. And he's a really good doll maker,
He's a big fan of, like, T-Rex's Bang of Gong and shit, so he's, like, kind of like a, I don't know, like a Ziggy Stardust wannabe that happens to be a Satan worshiper and a doll maker at the same time. I don't know, it's such an interesting thing, but Nicolas Cage actually said in an interview that his mother was the inspiration because she used to scare the shit out of him. And she used to talk like that, like, oh, because apparently she was schizophrenic. And, you know, she'd be like, oh, Nikki! Like, she would talk like that. And it would freak him out. And that was the inspiration.
Oh, wow. Poor guy. Okay.
Do you need a hug, Nick? Yeah. But he's incredible. He's incredible. And if horror was, you know, like we said before, like when it comes to Oscars and stuff, he should get an award. I think he should definitely be nominated for an award.
Definitely.
He's so transformative in this movie. And again,
So creepy.
But let's talk about Michael Monroe's character because she does an incredible job too. By doing very little.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've seen, you know, Micah and the Guests and, you know, all this other stuff in horror, but this time she's really just subdued.
Well, I think she's supposed to be like neurodivergent.
Originally, that's what I thought.
Right?
If this is a modern film, that she would be a neurodivergent FBI agent. But because of the supernatural elements within the film, maybe her actual, like, intellect came from
what had been done to her.
The whole thing with the dolls and her mother.
Possibly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because she just, like, knew.
Because if you remember,
knows things.
Because you remember at the end when she shot the doll's head, and there was that little ball thing inside, and it just goes poof, and then she just kind of like shakes her head like she's out of some sort of trance or something.
Yeah. Dude, like, listen, this movie is really, really good, and it has some surprises.
The fact that they didn't show Nicolas Cage and they were able to keep that a secret for so long, because it really is effective when you see his face for the first time. I think, anyway.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people thought it was kind of ridiculous, but whatever. That's your perspective, you know, and I get that. Does this movie like narratively run perfect? I don't think it does. I think it's very vague. I wouldn't necessarily say they just ran on a road when it came to the narrative. Would you?
No.
But just did it feel like it was just meant to be vague because it was supposed to convey, you know?
I think there's supposed to be some hint of mystery and vagueness in certain things to get your imagination going.
And again, you know, like when the last thing happens in the final act, we don't know what happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
no, you don't.
Longlegs, even though he's like gone, you know, like basically like
he's gone, but he's not gone. His legacy is still carrying on.
Which is something that he tells her. He goes, "I'll always be here, I'll always be around." It is a mystery, and it does leave it open-ended for everybody's interpretation. So yeah, I can see how that pissed off people. Like, yeah, it doesn't really like tell us anything of what happens.
Right.
But you know,
sometimes some things are better left up for your imagination.
No, it ended wonderful. Blair Underwood is, you know, he's wonderful in this. He's got a smaller part, but he's, you know, kind of like her Scott Glenn, you know, to Jodie Foster. God, Alicia Witt. She's not getting enough credit for this movie, but she is
fan-freaking-tastic.
Transformative as well. And, you know, like she you know, of course, we know her as like little Alia from Dune. If you're a fan of like Lynch's original Dune, and you know Twin Peaks, she was in that, and you know, but of course, you know, she's a final girl because she was an urban legend. But she is so evil in this movie, and it's kind of sad too because like you can tell she's only doing what she needs to do for the sake of her daughter, but at the same time, she's just gonna keep doing it for the man downstairs because Nicolas Cage happened to be living downstairs the entire time making dolls, and then she would pretend to be a nun, giving birthday gifts from the church to every house.
Oh, you won. Yeah.
She's amazing in this movie. Absolutely incredible. Anything else to say about Longlegs?
Go watch it. Go watch. No, seriously, go watch this one. It is so good. Go to the theater. Watch this movie.
Yep. Yep. If I had to rate this movie, I'd say, Mommy! Daddy!
Ow.
Anyway, guys, go see Longlegs. It's great.
Yeah.
And join us for another Critics from the Crypt. We'll scare you later. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.